let's go in-game and let's cast some StarCrafts. That's what you're all here for, rather than listening to me beg for money. To the bottom right-hand side, our blue Zerg player, this is Dark. And to the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran from O Gaming is INnoVation. Game 1 of this best of 9 series. As you get this ready to roll, SCV or 2 coming out over to the right-hand side of the map. And you get this ready to rumble. What's up? Domito Roboto. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Get some love in the chat, some hype in the chat for Domito. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. And again, if you want your hands on those replays, they're available to you on the Discord server. Just ! Discord in the chat. How does this best of 9 work exactly? Honestly, I don't know. It's going to be 3 best of 1s, like Pro League format style again, then a 2v2. Then I guess it's just going to be up to 5 games of all kill. And revives are available again through the 2v2. Honestly, I don't know. And I was warned that something silly happens in this series by people that cast it before with the format. So I actually really don't know. I'm casting this spoiler-free. I don't know how many games there are. I don't know who wins. But someone did tell me that there was a silly bit of some formatting in it somewhere. So I honestly have absolutely no clue. Do we get the 2v2 replays as well? Sadly, no. I'm not allowed to give out the Crank Team League replays. They are given out by Crank on his channel, although this was quite a while ago. These games were played like a little while ago, so you might have missed that replay pack of when he did them. I'm not 100% sure how he does his replay packs or anything. So, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to give you the 2v2 replays. Marine here, chasing Overlord up into the main base, as we do have at the same time just a hat-trick. Taking some shots. This proxy 2-Rax catching Dark a little off guard to begin with, and against the 2-Rax, he's going to go for a Roach opening. I mean, Roaches aren't really the best way to open against a 2-Rax play. It's, yeah, they really aren't. It's very simply just one of those builds which doesn't really all the time go so well, as we see a few Marines pushing up this ramp in towards the main base. But yeah, Roaches against 2-Rax, just because the 2-Rax isn't super all-in, it's more of a pressure play. And so back at home, a factory already starts up. You know, you have access to start building the command center. The Roaches take so long to break through this. I mean, against a 2-Rax, just taking down the hatchery, killing the hatchery is already a big win for you as a 2-Rax player. So INnoVation, I feel, going to get into a strong position to start off this best of 9. I love a best of 1s at the start of this, by the way. I tell you these for all of the series, so I don't know why I didn't this time. But INnoVation versus Dark is game 1. After this, we'll have soO versus Stats. And that means we'll also have Zest versus Solar. So those will be our first 3 matches, then the 2v2, then the all-kill section. Should be a really fun, really fun day of games. Throws of Battles landing in between the 2 bunkers here. A little bit of damage being done. Salvage on one of the bunkers, a few more Crows of Battles coming down. We're just trying to keep this up and kind of keep the hatchery from being retaken for as long as possible. INnoVation sends one Rax into the main to keep a bit of a scout going for a while. The other Rax is heading home, as he is just reliant on the factory and the starport over here for the moment to be able to have units to defend. Although the factory hasn't made anything, it was just flying around. Starport finishes and goes onto the tech lab. Straight into a Banshee, which makes a lot of sense when there's Roaches and Ravagers up for your opponent. Oh my god, no way! He can't break through! Oh, no way. Dark, so what he can't... He doesn't have vision on that Marine. Oh, he doesn't have vision on the Marine. No way. So, I mean, we see this trick all the time, but I've never seen one Marine live against like a bunch of a Roach Ravager counterattack or something as big as this. That's insane. One Marine has bought so much time for INnoVation. Dark couldn't even get a Zergling in there as the Roach goes around the other side and will kill that Marine. Dark gets his revenge. INnoVation's building the CC on the high ground, but that actually buys him crucial seconds where he's going to be able to get this Banshee out. And now this Banshee is out, it can move onto the map and it can look to try and get some pickoffs onto the Roaches, and the Ravagers just back away anyways, so nicely done. Why no Bile? I don't know actually. Can you Bile into Fog of War? I mean, I guess you can, right? I guess Dark just didn't think about it. I mean, obviously you must be able to, right? What stops you just Biling right there? Yeah. Yeah, I actually don't know why he didn't Bile. It would have made a lot of sense. Maybe because he thinks INnoVation is just going to run back and run in right away. You can't? Really? You can't bile into Fog of War? That's actually something that just never... you need vision? Oh, that's so crazy. Oh, that's so crazy. Huh. I guess we very rarely see this circumstance where you don't have vision right next to yourself, right? So we've seen the Banshee poking his way through a couple of drones as it comes across the map. It's just a cloakless Banshee. It was designed to keep INnoVation alive. Now it gets an extra drone as well, so a good little startup as that Banshee continues to come up the left-hand side. Signal link coming through the middle, also found by this Banshee. So not much luck there. It's an interesting discussion, guys, I guess, but I suppose it does make sense. It's just a very... I mean, this is like one of the only times I've ever seen Fog of War being somewhere that's right next to units, right? Because usually, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird little situation. It really is. Alright, well, we do see this Banshee gets turned away. I mean, again, INnoVation's not looking for much damage with this. He's happy just to have the map control. He'll scan the natural, doesn't get info there. The tech and, well, lair is in the main base, but honestly, there's not much to see. INnoVation, if he was paying attention still, will see those EVA chambers starting, so he knows he'll be ahead on upgrades by about 45-60 seconds. Just let me see in the evolution chamber. Those two just going on the way up, a couple of medevacs on the way up as well, and a few marines on the way out. INnoVation just said Z. The Z key is actually like a laughing sound in Korean. It makes like a keh sound, so it's like if you spam it, it's like keh keh keh. It's like the laughing sound. So when you ever see a Korean type Z, it's probably just because they're on English keyboard, but they're trying to make it like a laughing sound. So he was like giggling at Dark and not being able to get through the Fog of War there. That's pretty funny. Inez is on its way up, about to finish. 1-1 melee upgrades continue to come through then from Dark, so he is going to switch this into Ling Bane. And obviously Ravager support. INnoVation already coming down the left-hand side of the map. It's going to be popping down here, and well, another Banshee still just patrolled around out in the center. He's getting ready to push into this hatchery. I mean, that hatchery is probably dead. I think it's the Ravagers. Stim is here. I mean, INnoVation was taking the wild to Stim. And then he starts fighting the Lings, kites away. Could turn onto the Ravagers. I mean, killing the Ravagers is great, but that bile! Oh man, INnoVation stood in the bile there for a second. It cost him a bunch of Marines. And that was painful. That actually saves Dark a couple of Ravagers and probably saves him the hatchery. Nicely done. INnoVation, a little bit of a mistake there, but still in a good spot as 1-1. Combat shields coming through. Armory is ready to start up 2-2 as well, so that finishes nice and on time. An extra couple of barracks coming up in the main base. Again, some extra banelings just morphing into the left-hand side hatchery here, and again, just getting ready to go. More Marines coming down the left side from INnoVation, a few Marines on the bottom left side as well, and again, everything getting ready to potentially push in towards this fourth base in the next few moments. So, just getting set up for this right now as, here you go, Marine's going to get ready to stand in. Couple drones go down, a baneling gets picked up as well, just one baneling. The drones dropping, Marines jumping in towards the main, and we just see these Marines continue to fight. More Banes actually going to show up here. Oh, INnoVation! That was not the micro that INnoVation usually shows us. Runs straight into those Banes and, well, loses both medevacs at the same time. Okay, well, INnoVation's making some mistakes right now, and Dark's really getting back into the game because of it. Dark actually about to hit Hive Tech as well. We'll see what he does with the Hive. I mean, Ultralisk Cavern, maybe? Either way, it's definitely been a little disastrous here for Inno the last few moments. Let's see if he can start to fix this up as we go into the next few minutes of this. As again, just has to lift up for the moment. Adrenal Glands, 2-2 upgrades. Again, I look towards maybe, again, is it going to be an Ultra Cavern or what else is this Hive for? Maybe just Adrenal Glands. Okay, a Viper. I guess it makes sense. He's playing Ling Bane, Ravager and so on, so Vipers will always help out to deal with the tanks. Marines loading up back into those medevacs there, back towards the upper left-hand side. Concussive shells about to pop out from INnoVation. A couple of Marauders are coming through as well. And he's got so many siege tanks. I still feel this push of INnoVation can be pretty deadly. If he pushes out around about now, 2-2 upgrades are really not far away. And so we're in a position where INnoVation should be able to get a pretty strong push going for himself, as Marines on the bottom side, surrounded by a few Lings, but they do lift up and they do get away. And Banshee continuing to move over here, and is going to come in to try and fight against one of those Queens. Lings surrounding a couple of these rocks, just cleaning up the map and giving him giving Dark easier access around to get some more done. And just to help deal with the Terran army as well, counterattacks become more potent, and it just gives him space to work with as he does see this Terran army pushing forwards. He comes to try and crit it, but doesn't really have a lot here. There's about 7 or 8 Banes. Finally, he morphs in some more. Journal Plan's not far from finishing, but INnoVation has 2-2 against currently a 1-1 Zerg. So a fight in the next few moments should be very INnoVation favored, as a few Marauders just randomly come down the right side. 4th base, well, can just lift back up. I mean, he doesn't even land because the Lings are underneath it. So unfortunately for Dark, that doesn't go so well from his Banes. Actually getting caught by tanks and Marauders. On the right side, those Marauders get picked off, not too big of a deal. Ling's still looking for a counterattack. A good amount of bio turns around to deal with it, but there's also a very large army still left over here. As Banes are still being caught by those Marauders. 9 workers going down so far. This base can just lift up. That shouldn't be a problem, and this INnoVation is distracted elsewhere and too busy to lift it up, and he is. 4th base goes down. INnoVation with a big mistake there. Bio still pushing his bottom right side. Viper just flies into the army, though this is mistakes from both players. In the end, INnoVation loses 10 SCVs total, and that will be about it from that counterattack. But Dark lost a base. INnoVation does or should know about this base bottom left. There's been Banes and all sorts of units running in from this direction, so I know, and you saw the creep spread as well, should just be able to come down here and clean that out, although Dark will contest it. Ravager Files do not come down. Actually, target fire from the tanks straight onto the Ravagers is really nice because it stops them getting in range to file down a couple of tanks before they get killed off there. So that's a pretty nice little something. There's Marines, Marauders, tanks, all of this pushing through the bottom side and still coming forwards. Overlord goes down, Extractor goes down, extra Banes are about to be finishing up. Tanks are still sieging, and they're going to be, well, just seeing a Banshee getting picked off right now. Also in a little bit of trouble. That tank will siege up once again as well. Marines in some trouble out in the center of the map also. Marines still just pressing forwards. Group spread still coming in. Vipers coming in from the south side. They will get some good blind clouds on the initial tanks, and the Marines do run into the blind clouds. Ultras are out on the map here. Titanus Plane isn't out though, and so it's 2-2 upgrades against 2-2. Rocks get knocked down. Dark will just type out GG, and INnoVation will take the first game of this best of 9 grand final. soO versus Stats as we start up to the top left-hand side of the map. Our blue Zerg player representing the INnoVation one-man team and having the first point on the board in this series is soO. Bottom right-hand side, our red Protoss player from Slantis and Bugs is Stats. See what he can bring to the table. As our first probe comes across to get some early game scouting information underway. Get that rolling. Probe just nibbling away, getting set up for game 2 of this series. Again, it's best of 9. It'll be our last series of the night, but obviously it's a best of 9, so we should be going for quite a little while still. Should be good. What teams are facing off? So these are custom-made teams for this tournament. soO, INnoVation, and Zest make up the INnoVation one-man team. And Stats, Dark, and Solar make up the Slantis and Bugs team. The only real team that took part in this team league was Titan X1. Although, I did say this before, it would have been cool if, like, for example, Splice made a team of, like, Stats and TY, and then they just added a third player or something. Not to add them to the team, but, like, just call it Splice. I don't know. Anyways, we go into this and see how it develops. Stargate in the main base. Set up into PVZ. Stargate is obviously not too crazy. Got to see a bunch of stats as PVZ in the we've got to see a bunch of stats as PVZ in the BlizzCon Grand Finals, which was a lot of fun. He played, honestly, a really good series against Serral. Serral is very good, so it's tough to compare, but still in general was a good finals. He took a couple games in the end, which honestly it didn't look like he was going to for a while. But in the end he did make us. There's Adept going to be pulling back a little bit. Another Adept on the bottom right side of Phoenix is about to finish up here from stats. And this Overlord also just chilling out up on the high ground. So really everything we expected this early game PVZ to be. No surprises for the moment. Overlord taking some damage, an extra gateway being thrown down, couple of queens still just on the way out right now from soO. And then Phoenix just going to be nibbling away at this Overlord, and again, Overlord should be dropping down in just a moment or so. There we go, Overlord does indeed drop. So Overlord goes down, again these probes just mining away, pylon coming up on the main base, and that Phoenix is back off towards the upper left hand side, just to kind of keep track of what else is going on. See if you can find any more Overlords, which you'll find one right away here, but Queens are nearby. I'd be surprised if he actually was able to get a kill. There isn't really a second Overlord on the map to be killed. I mean, it really became a thing where Zerg stopped sending second Overlords on the map so that they could instead very much, you know, just kind of, it was just something that didn't really do anything. Like if it was a Phoenix opening, you don't just lose one Overlord, you lose two, and that second Overlord just doesn't find you any extra info to really justify your commitment to it. Phoenix and an Oracle moving in towards this main base. Phoenix lifts, and the Oracle gets to work on the drones. Gets a couple, has to get out. Not bad little opener from stats, though. A very common maneuver right there as well. Second Oracle actually joins up as well. It's going to be a third Oracle too, so stats going hyper aggressive on the Oracles. Means he will definitely look to do some of these few Adepts, which are moving forwards, and all together here should be able to stay very safe against those Zerglings. So no issue there, and again with the Oracles too, the Ling-based defense will be weakened quite significantly, but the Adepts actually turn around. I mean, there isn't anything to really hold position against the third base, and so knowing that these Lings are out, Stats doesn't really have much of a choice. Maybe he could have... Yeah, it's tough. I guess it is the safer way to do it, though, because now his third base will come up, and we are going to be seeing the Oracles, and the main base is going to be able to come in, and, well, this time he's going to lift up the Queen. He's going to go straight in. Does waste a little bit of time on the Spore Crawler. He still turns around pretty quickly and gets out of there. 5 workers killed. Again, not bad by stats. Just coming in, getting some damage done, getting out, keeping his units alive, playing a solid game so far here in the early stages against soO. Things do come on down to the bottom side. He actually morphed in some Adepts to help you, some Banes to help you. The Adepts have to move away from the pylons, which go down. This is where the Oracles come back home, and this is where the Oracles should still be able to defend this, as soO is still going aggressive. I mean, another Bane moving towards the natural. And this is a shutdown, though, and there isn't going to be much more soO can do about it. So soO will just have to draw it up here. Keep a work lead. He's on 54, so he'll go up to about 60 now if extra work is finishing. Keeps himself in a decent position. As we see those Lings going to be thinking about pressing forwards into that natural. Hydralisk Den on the way down. Going to be finishing up very shortly. Baneling speed on the way up as well right now. So again, all of this just coming into play. You do see that, well, the charge upgrade is about to finish up. So it's the +1 attack. On the bottom side, these Lings are going to run away from the Adepts as well. So he's still looking for openings, looking for opportunities, but hasn't really found any. He's going for a Ling-Bane Hydra setup, but he's also started up a Spire, so potential for a switch in toward Mutalisks. I mean, obviously always a very powerful switch you can make, and if you catch the Protoss off guard, it can work very well. And we've seen that a fair amount lately. You can see repeat the Muta switch and just how effective it can be, as we will see these Lings surrounding, getting rid of a Zealot, and then being pushed away. So Lings actually do fall pretty quick there, and they pull back over to the right-hand side. +2 attack coming in on the Forge. Chrono Boost comes in on the Forge as well. Meanwhile, on the top left-hand side, we talk about upgrades, and still just that Ling-Bane Hydra setup from soO. So Ling-Bane Hydra, usually you want to try and trade and keep on trading, you keep on harassing. It's not a great later game army, so you try and keep the kind of the tech unit count of your opponent very low. And especially with a Spire follow-up, it's not going to be Swarm Host, which really power up the waves of attack of this Ling-Bane Hydra. is going to be harass, using kind of massive units to pull Protoss units out of position, pull them into different, locations where they think they have to defend, and just try and find a fight where you can overwhelm, or maybe buy time for the Mutas to get somewhere and deal damage. I mean, it keeps mentioning Mutas, but we don't actually have any gas for Mutas just yet, so it's very possible we also just don't see anything from that Spire for a few moments here. But again, Mutas are definitely the go-to for the moment because there's no hives, so it's not like this was just for a greater Spire at all. So there's definitely that kind of idea here from soO. He's just not had an opportunity to really put that into play just yet. Lings coming down to the bottom side of the map, and we are going to be seeing a few more Hydras on the way up. Another Phoenix, Shield Battery, an Observer, +2 attack on the Forge. All of this getting ready to go as the Warp Prism will back away out over to the left-hand side. First time we're really going to get to see Stats being aggressive in this game, so hopefully going to be able to get quite a bit done actually as he comes up this left side. And he's played a very good defensive game at home, despite the aggression of soO. So now on 80 drones, let's see if Stats can make a dent into that economy. Honestly, not really much here to defend. Charge is done, although this is mostly an adept drop, so charge doesn't really come into play. Although warping of Zealots could go a long way, especially considering there's 8 warp gates up and ready. Zergami doesn't commit in fact it pulls all the way back. soO coming back with everything to try and deal with this adept prism. And that's actually very frustrating, although he was found to come in and those adepts to drop. And Stats not quite paying attention to the warp prism, which is now under fire. Warp prism goes down. That's a shame, because while he did force soO's army back home, it was just a one-time deal. Now he's going to have to build another warp prism and get it across the map. But that's not going to happen before soO's setting up an attack here. So realistically, this opens a big moment of time where soO can really get a good engagement going. Revelation comes down from the Oracles, meaning that the Protoss army is able to see where the Zerg army is located and position itself somewhat correctly. Rocks go down right now. It is just a setup phase here from soO. Splits some of his army units off to the right side, splits a lot of them off to the left, and that multitasking, that multi-pronged aggression is going to start coming through soon. He catches 4 Zealots that are wandering out over to the right-hand side, so already find himself a little bit of damage there. Actually going to think about maybe keep on going. Stasis Ward goes off to stop a few Lings moving forwards. High Templars have Storm, they have a lot of energy, but they don't have much to support them. So it's always a little bit risky them being out there, and that's why they're pulling back pretty quick, as we do see those Stats will potentially lose a 4th base now. Good Storms will force a split away. Suddenly some Banes coming in from the top side, as soO just loops that army back around from the left, up through the top, and back around to the right. And now going to keep on pressing forwards. Another Storm comes down. Hydras, Lings, and Bane's going to keep pressing in. Oh my god, those Storms though! soO losing a bunch of Hydras. Lings on the left get taken down as well. Nicely done. What's up, Stuck on Caps Lock? Thank you so much for the 110 bits out in the chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Really do appreciate the support, dude. Thank you so much. Hydras and Banes continue to set up here from soO. Hive is on the way up. Carapace on the way as well for the Zerg player. Just coming around to the left-hand side. A few more Banelands will morph in once again. And they are going to get ready to push up towards this left-hand side base. So here we go. There's a few Banelands already moving forwards. And we see a couple of Zealots at the start kind of coming in to try and tank. The Bane's being used to help get rid of the cannons here. They have to keep on pressing forwards. Probes are thinking about where they want to go, pull them back away. Stasis Sword goes off to the top side, catching a lot of the Banes. So again, soO can't really keep on pressing in, although at the end of the day, I mean, you look at the supplies, and it's 150 to 120. Both have similar-ish money in the bank. Stats is a bit lower on gas. Is the music messed up again, guys? Let me listen to this for a second. So again, soO can't really keep on pressing in, although I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm sorry, like, I don't understand why the StarCraft 2 sounds are going to be playing out any differently than my other sounds. So hopefully it's not too much of an issue. But there's only so much I can really do about it, honestly. Like, I don't know what it could be causing it. Like, why my sounds from StarCraft are messed up. I mean, I'm hearing them perfectly normally. So why it's going through my streaming software differently is very interesting. I don't know. Anyways, get back into the game. Great Spire on the way up. Corruptors are starting to come out here as well. Hydras do find these Phoenix from earlier on. I think Stats did end up scouting that Spire and just set up some Phoenix to prepare for it, but obviously soO never actually made the Mutalisks. Ling's going to come down over to the far bottom right-hand side. the music sometimes sounds like it's lagging. You know what that is? I think I just dropped a few more frames somewhere because my internet's a bit funky. So I think it's just that, actually. But it shouldn't be happening too often. I think it just happened like maybe once, but it should be fixed. But let me know if it's continuous, because then I don't have an answer. I really don't. Zealots and Archons. Bottom side, third base defended. One unit setting up on the right as well, getting rid of a few Zerglings here. More Banelings on the way up. Lings coming forward, and they're actually going to be able to grab themselves a couple of Immortals. A couple of Immortals go down pretty quickly there. Another Stasis Ward defends. That was a really nice catch on the Immortals, but it also costs a lot of Zerglings. Top side, we see some Zealots that are going to run headfirst into Spine Crawlers. Not really much else they can do in terms of harassment. You see those Spines are going to be able to get rid of those Zealots, so good little clean up there. Oh my god, Lings are running by into the natural expansion. Lings are going to get a bunch of damage done here. Photon Cannon gets picked off. The High Templar are found as well, and the Broodlords are dropping down onto the HGs too. I mean, here comes some Storms Labyrinth, the Broodlords. Archons as well, if they can get underneath would be great, but can they get underneath? The last few Storms, Brood are still taking a beam, but suddenly Stats is looking as though he's in a bit of trouble here. These Archons aren't ready, the Hydras are on top because all the Storms are gone. There's nothing to push the Hydras back. Here we go, some more Storms ready, but now what do you do against the Broodlords? High Templar being picked off instantly, and our Probe's already going down. To the left side, these Zealots might get themselves a hatchery, but soO still has a forward fifth base, so he's still feeling pretty good right now. Stats doesn't really have much to say about it, and soO will make this a 2-0 lead for the INnoVation one-man team. And, well, a 2-0 lead and a best of 9. It's first of 5, remember. 2 points on the board for INnoVation. A long time, so that'll be exciting. So that's coming up tomorrow. Make sure you hit that follow button. And of course, if you're really enjoying the stream, don't forget you can support by subscribing, donating, and cheering. If you're a Twitch Prime user, you can subscribe to the stream for free. All of it helps us to continue being a full-time StarCraft 2 stream, producing StarCraft content, running our own tournaments, and all the rest of it. So if that sounds good to you, do consider supporting. Subscribing especially gets you replay packs. We'll be doing a sub tourney again soon, and all of that good stuff. So do check that out. And of course, if you really enjoy the stream, it's the best way to support and to make sure that the stream will continue onwards and onwards and through and forever until the end of time. My Equip link's broken. Oh, it still is broken. Oh, did I just update the wrong thing? Oh, damn it! Oh, maybe it's fixed now. I don't even know. Hang on. No, it's messed up, isn't it? Nah, honestly, I'm kind of done with the Equip one as well anyways. I'm not very good at selling toothbrushes, it seems. Alright. So, bottom left-hand side is Zest from INnoVation one-man team, who are up 2-0. To the top right-hand side, the blue Zerg player is soO. As we get this set up, we get this going. Natural expansion finishes up. Third hatchery on its way down as well. Getting ready to finish very shortly here. As you do see a queen on the way out of the natural. A couple more lings starting to be made. Cybercore finishing up the front as well. And Adept going to be Crota boosted, so that's going to be popping out, heading towards the upper right-hand side pretty swiftly. As this probe has just been scouting around a little bit as well to see just what's up, just what's going on. Just getting an idea of what indeed is happening for the moment. So a little bit of early game scouting as you see the warp gate starting up on that Cybercore as well. Twilight Council coming in from Zest in the main base. So Zest is getting that Twilight Council down. And again, just going to be seeing a couple of probes and the Stalker continue to come out as well. That warp gate still coming through too. And we are just waiting to see where this goes. We see a queen just going to push that Adept away down to the south. Twilight at about 75% of the way here. It's second time today we've seen a Twilight first opening in the PvZ. This time there is going to be a robe a little bit faster than Twilight finishing. When Classic did it against Dark, I was a little bit confused because the Twilight finished and then he built the robot. I was like, wait, what? Where did that come from? So, yeah, awesome. So you see the Dark Shrine dropping down here as well from Zest. And we get set up into this. A few Zerglings starting to move forwards from soO. And we coming down towards the bottom left, looking to apply a little bit of pressure here. Something is about to arrive to the bottom left side. So they're just having a little bit of a jump around. And again, seeing what is indeed happening. Not much going on. Waiting for this Dark Shrine to come up. The DT drops. We're probably expecting a double Prism play with this. Again, when you go for the DT drops nowadays, that's kind of just what the go-to is, really. More so than anything else. So getting towards this as we do have the Fuelings just out the front from soO. They're just set around. And, well, Warp Gate is indeed about to finish any second now. Woo! Warp Gate complete. And there already is a second Warp Prism on the way out. So, as expected, soO will have to get ready to defend this. He is much later on the Lair than Rotron than Dark was, so he has to defend with Lings and with Spore Crawlers for now. With Lings already underneath this Warp Prism, I mean, you can warp in the DTs still, but it's going to be tough to morph in an Archon super easily. I guess the DTs then push the Lings back, so there's a bit of this and that. There's Spore Crawler in position, the DTs will move forwards. They get a Crypt Tumor already, which is nice. Going to keep on moving forwards here, and a couple more Lings going down. Oh! How he gets a Queen there. In the end, we'll just lift up and back away. That was actually very close on the Queen. The Transfuse came in last second. Nice attempt out of Zest for some early damage. Next Prism about to arrive to the top side of the map here on Blue Shift. Not sure how the maps work for this either, by the way, if we get to 9 games, if maps get repeated or what. As we'll just see a few DTs walking in on the left-hand side. They're about to finish up, but oh, he actually loses one of them. That Spore Crawler was in range. Wow. So he actually lost one DT and he cancelled the other two because the Prism came out of warp-in mode. A little bit unfortunate there as the Archons will come into action on the south side, but Zest not finding much just yet with this attack. And soO just continuing to add on a few extra drones. 7 more of them still on the production tab. 2 more gateways coming back in the natural expansion as this probe will head down to the south side and think about where he wants to put the third base. And it looks as though it will be in this forward or more forward position for the third. Tries to recall a Stalker, which gets killed anyways. The probe gets recalled back safely. A little bit of a weird situation there as we see the 2 Archons now morphing into the top. This Prism is still looking around. Queens will get on top of it. He's actually bringing both Prisms to the top side. And he changes his mind. He actually brings this Prism back down to the south. He'll drop off here, and an Overlord looks ripe for the picking. And finally, these Archons start to find some damage. I mean, that's the first real damage they've done. Gets an Overlord in the main base too, so 2 Overlords suddenly. Finally, these Archon drops are getting some value. So Zest making some progress, but it has taken them a little while to even just find this, so that's a little bit of a shame in that regard. 2 Prisms sat up to the top side, then getting ready to drop into the main. Roaches just going to be sat on the edge of the creep spread here, and here we go. Archons in to drop down. Some Roaches taking some hits already, and you're going to see all 4 of these Archons pushing forwards. Getting themselves a good little bit of damage. The Spore Crawler very nearly gets that Prism. Good defense by soO. Again, he's not really losing much. He's deflecting these Archons. He slowed down this third base for a long time from Zest as well. So Zest has been missing out on a third base economy. He's not really been able to, to probe up realistically or anything. So Zest is in a real tough little spot right now as we see those Lings and those Roaches from soO. They gather up just by or just between the bases, just moving around a little bit here. Warp Prism is coming down here again. Just continuing to get picked off. Even more Lings down to the far bottom side. Again, Roaches and Hydra. Just having a little bit of fun trying to figure out what's going on at the moment. Hydralisk range on the way. That Groove Spines upgrade coming in. A couple of Queens coming up to the top, and we do see the Archons able to get some creep tumors at the front, so it does keep the creep kind of pinned back. That's the one thing Zest really has done with this early game pressure. He's kept the creep pinned back. It's not been able to come very far forwards at all. In terms of everything else, though, it's, again, not really looking like the best of games from him. And I feel like soO right now, you can see soO's been on 59 drones or thereabouts for a long time. And you can see he's morphing in Ravages, he's making a few more units. I feel like soO's maybe just waiting for muscular augments on the Hydralisk, that Hydralisk speed upgrade. And I feel like as soon as he gets that, he's going to push across the map. I don't see where you go from there. So I think he's just going to get ready to push here very soon as we do see Archons once again going to move forwards, and they'll find themselves a Hydralisk nice and quickly here. A few Zerglings as well going to go down. Yeah, it does feel as though we're getting well set up for this. As I just push in, the Archons have to back away. I mean, soO's just going to come across for that. There's no way he doesn't, right? He's still on 59 drones. He's maxed out. He's got nothing left to wait for. He's not got a big economy to sit back on and say, like, okay, well, you know, you bring it to me, Zest. If he was on 80 drones, maybe it'd be more of that sort of situation. He'd be teching up into other things, but right now, he's getting ready to push. And Zest, well, his Storm shouldn't be ready for this attack. I mean, Zest's actually on the bottom side of the map, so in a way, soO's going to get his dream of Zest actually pushing into him. Well, Zest might not commit too far forwards with this. We'll see. Ling's going to try and run by. He's going to back away there for a moment, hold back. Archons are back in the main base yet again. A few Lings and Roaches off to deal with that. I mean, this is in a way buying Zest a little bit of time where Storm might be able to finish before the attack. Oh no, the Zealot wasn't on hold position. Well, already a bit of a disaster here, although the rest of the units coming back pretty quick, but now the units from soO will start to swarm in on the bottom side. And so already starting to push forwards here. These Zealots dropping down very quickly. These Archons in some trouble. I mean, a couple Archons going down, some sentries taking some hits as well. Force field's actually broken down a little bit by one of those corrosive Baals. Zest is just going to be overrun very quickly here. And soO will put the Solendis and Bugs on the scoreboard before we get to the 2v2. Solendis and Bugs will enter the 2v2 with a point on the board at least. Zest has no way to hold on to this. GG. soO will take the game. And the way the players spawn on this map always are the wrong way to where the scoreboard is. And you can't switch the scoreboard around in 2v2, sadly. It's annoying. Alright. To the top left-hand side, our pink Protoss player and the red Terran player are going to be Zest and INnoVation. They're 2-1 up for INnoVation one-man team. As we have to the bottom right-hand side, our blue Zerg and our teal Protoss. It's soO and Stats from Solendis and Bugs. They're going to try and tie this up 2-2. Again, I'm not fully sure if you get 1 revive or 2 revives from the 2v2 or how this works at all. But we'll see how it turns out. We'll just kind of roll with it because it's a best of 9, not a best of 7. So I imagine you just get 1 revive, but then both teams also just have an extra revive anyways for the final section. You see this probe from Stats coming up to the upper left-hand side and just going to have a little bit of a scout around in the main base. Then what's up everyone in the chat? Let me know who you cheered on this series and all of that good stuff. If you cheered on the SolarStats Dark combo or Zest INnoVation and soO. Remember right now as it stands, I believe INnoVation and soO are good to play in the all-kill section. I just don't know how the revives work when you have potentially 2 revives needed, right? Because if Zest and INnoVation lose here, it's 2-2. But if they don't have a revive, they don't have 3 players. So I imagine they just get a revive anyways, whereas if Stats and soO lose here, they'll have 1 player, but they should still also have a revive, right? Otherwise it'd just be like a 4-1 win or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens as the games go by. Again, I'm casting this spoiler free, so I actually don't know what happens or how it works, which is a little bit complicated because I understood the rest of the format, but for the best of 9, I'm a little in the dark. So. Reaper gets picked off here as we do see again an early Stargate out of the Protoss player in this 2v2. Zest went for an early Stargate too, but it's still expanding a bit faster because of this pylon block. So a couple of shenanigans early game, and well, believe it or not guys, Phoenix are on the way out. And just in case you hadn't seen Phoenix in every other 2v2 so far, just in case you weren't sure that that was the best way to play this style, well there you go, confirmation. More Phoenix! Continue to come on out here, crazy. Just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. Adept moving across towards the upper left-hand side. We see a couple of these Adepts down on the bottom left as well, as they will be moving around a little bit. Phoenix is picking its way through this Overlord, so Overlord actually taking a good little amount of damage here in these early stages. What happens if there's no Protoss? Well, okay, we did see a couple of times there's no Protoss playing the 2v2s and they lost. I'm pretty sure there's not been a single win that wasn't without a Protoss in 2v2. TP, TP, beat the TT, TP1, TP. Okay, Terran's like Alive and Impact beat Tasia and Parting. That was the one time at Pros, but that was a dumb game actually, because Parting didn't go Phoenix. TP, PZ, PZ, TP. Pros has been in the winning 2v2 every time, apart from one time. Alive and Impact, they were the only team that didn't have a Pros in their team, so they had to play TZ. They played TT one time as well, double Terran, but the time they played Terran Zerg, they won. But again, like Parton and Tasia were... It was a weird game, that one. It was a really weird game. Killer Engineering Base on the way up here from INnoVation. They're going to be finishing up in a moment. 14 more Zerglings about to pop out, and they're going to be hanging out just between the natural expansions of the players. I mean, so far, so good. Players are pretty even in their setups, and, well, not really much of a surprise just yet. Last time we just saw soO and Stats play, and they lost out to Cure and Trap, and it was a very unfortunate series for a very unfortunate game for soO and Stats, where they just kind of fell behind. Like, soO just never really had a chance to fight against the Terran push forwards. He never really had creep spread to work with because they pushed into Stats space as well, probably knowing that there was going to be no creep for soO to work with. So it made life very difficult, really. It was interesting. Feeling still just running around here, going towards the right-hand side. More of these Phoenix of Stats gathering together as well. Fleet Beacon on the way up from both players, both of them on double Stargate too, so that Phoenix production will continue. Yeah, 2v2 with Pros is basically a 1v1 with Phoenix support. Yeah, it really is. It's Phoenix is just so good, man. It's kind of crazy. They're just such a good support unit, and what I really love is that all of these teams know that in 2v2 you should at least have someone go in Phoenix because someone's done it every time, which is kind of cool, right? You're like, I know I have to kind of do this, especially on a map where being aggressive is very hard early because of just the size of the map and the layout. I mean, this map really does promote longer 2v2 games rather than just like one base all-ins, etc. I think there's been one game where we saw one player commit to one base. I think it was Patience committed to one base while Bjorn went 2-1-1. Actually turned into a pretty cool game, but they still didn't quite work out for them. It's just a lot. It takes a while to cross this map. It really does. It's a very good 2v2 map. Lingers coming up the left-hand side, and they are going to be hitting in towards this command center in a few moments, which is morphing into an orbital. So running in here, grabs 1, 2, and 3 SCVs. They're going to go down pretty quickly. Well, actually, third SCV didn't go down, just survived, but looked as though it was going to. It was good kills. These obviously seem to think this is somewhat worthwhile. You see Marines on the far right side were working their way through the rocks. And they will get those rocks down, so rocks will fall. A little scan, some creep being cleaned out again. Phoenix still coming down to the bottom side. And try and come in here and, well, I mean, the Phoenix will want to fight over Phoenix. That was an anti-impulse crystals active on both players there. There is still Zest that seemed to get the upper hand. Just picks up a Phoenix, just nabs it out of nowhere. Supplies right now, you look at the Pros Blades, it's a 6 worker lead from Zest. His third base is coming up, so his stats, but he's 6 workers behind. Phoenix count is 17 apiece, so the Pros Blades are pretty even. INnoVation against Solar is 60 to 62 workers, and Army Supply is pretty similar as well, so it's a pretty even game for the moment, and as it should be, right? Nothing's really happened so far. Little, you know, a couple ling run bys here and there, just kind of on the third bases, nothing crazy though, no kills. Nice and chill. Extra Stargates still coming down. Zest is actually already up on 3 Stargates, while Stats is just adding on his third one, so a slight difference there. We're not seeing any flyer upgrades either just yet, any air weapons. That's something which has been brought into play by a couple players, usually later on though, so too surprised not to see it just yet. +2 Carapace is coming up to completion, plus Groove Spines. Also on the way out, about 20 seconds away from finishing up here. 4 more Phoenix in production from Zest. Again, he's just going to have so many Phoenix to work with. I mean, he's just making more and more Phoenix than Stats is. He's 25 to 22. I guess that's where that 6 to 8 worker advantage that he had earlier really comes into play. Marine still coming down the left side. More lings from Solar coming in through the top, and again, just going to be having these Phoenix Let's see what they can maybe get up to. 2 upgrades are really not that far from finishing. Slingers, Banes, and Hydras all just running around. The Phoenix going to go up against each other, and well, this is where they're going to start breaking out. But Zest will lose a little bit here because he's fighting against Queens and Hydras, so those couple of extra shots will go a long way. INnoVation isn't here to support yet. Zest still up by a couple Phoenix. Tanks will siege from quite a distance. I feel like INnoVation could have pushed right up to here already. This has been a very passive game up until now. INnoVation really didn't try and do much with drops or anything like here and Trap did earlier in their 2v2 when they played against Stats and soO. Maybe that will be their weakness in the end. You see a lot of this creep being cleaned out, but they'll have to start backing away. Stats is about to have a mothership popping out in the next few moments, so that could change things up as well. We'll see how that will allow the setup to differ here very soon. Even if the mothership just tank shots from Zest's Phoenix, that could obviously go very well from Stats. So see what the mothership brings to the play. Phoenix actually heading back up to the top, but INnoVation is kind of on his own down here. soO starts to run down the ramp. Okay, the Phoenix do come back. Tank's going to unsiege and push just a little bit further forwards once again. A Baneling goes off on a Marine. Mothership comes in, well, close up that hatchery. Marines are going to have to start pulling back. Tanks continue to siege. Here we go. The Marines are going to start fighting as the Lingbane Hydra comes in from the sides. The Phoenix here out of Zest seem to be doing very well. Now the cloak fades away, and so Zest does end up having to kind of kill the mothership, which kind of takes up a little bit of time for him. soO and INnoVation have traded pretty evenly, but as soO laughs it out, he thinks they've done enough, and I think so because Zest is going to lose out on the Phoenix. Stats. Look at these guys. Obviously, these guys are having a lot of fun playing against each other, as Stats and soO are going to be laughing at Zest and INnoVation after they've cleaned up. And well, I guess soO does have a bit too much. For a moment, I really felt like soO and INnoVation were kind of doing okay trading even, but then suddenly INnoVation loses out on so much more. And of course, there was the fact that Zest lost all of his Phoenix, and that's almost irrecoverable, as we are going to be seeing. Well, Lingbane Hydra still wants to push on in here, but the tanks are going to try and hold off, but there's just so much. The Phoenix can, of course, lift the tanks as well. They're coming in as these big support units, and they are making some very big plays. Tanks will continue to drop. GG is called. Zest taps out. INnoVation's out of there too. Stats and soO will tie up this best of 9, 2 games apiece. Game didn't just crash. It's not a good sign, is it? Oh, did I pause it? The game didn't crash. I paused it. God, I'm so dumb. My bad, guys. All right. Let's do this. The bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player. This, representing the INnoVation one-man team, is soO. Good up against the blue Protoss top right, Stats. All right. So, gateway comes down on the natural expansion, similarly coming up in the main as we get this underway. Hatchery coming down on the natural here from soO as well. So just getting this rolling as we will see an overload of soO. Coming in from the bottom left-hand side. Overlord here from soO as well, coming around too, around the bottom. Hatch, gas, and pool on the way up. You just get going on Cerulean 4. Nice chilled out start. Third hatch, natural hatch, all finishing up here as we get this ready to go. Yeah, casting live from Korea is pretty rough. It's not a lot of fun casting live from Korea. It gets Korean servered pretty hard, I'm not going to lie. Not fun at all. Stargate coming up here in the main base of Stats, so that's going to be coming through, finishing up shortly. Nexus finishing up on the natural. A pretty regular little start to this PvZ as we get this going. On the plus side, Blizzard are looking at the Korean server lag issue, so at least they're looking at it. They don't know what's causing it yet, but hopefully we'll know at some point. I mean, if they're looking at it, I mean, that's all we can really ask them to do, right? So hopefully we'll get an answer at some point. Adept facing off against a couple of Lings and a Queen at the moment. They are going to be able to push that away. Adept is going to end up shading around somewhere, not really. As you do see the Phoenix being chrono boosted out of the Stargate. So Phoenix getting chrono boosted at the moment, going to be finishing up very shortly. Adept continuing to come in towards the upper right hand side, going to be about to get back home. Yeah, we just sat back, waiting for the Oracle. Nice chilled out start on Cerulean. Again, 2-2 right now in a best of 9 grand final in this Team League matchup. Phoenix here from Stats will start to nibble away at this Overlord. So Overlord's starting to take quite a bit of damage and will go down in the next few moments. So Overlord drops down here. Creep spread pushing forwards from soO. And is pushing out in towards the middle of the map. And again, I mean, just a couple drones moving around here on the right-hand side. A couple of Queens injecting away. And again, Ling's just going all over the shop to see what they can get up to. Phoenix goes on to an Overlord. I mean, really just back and forth stuff. We're still waiting to see what the opening is going to be here out of Stats beyond this Stargate. I mean, 2 more gates means, I say mean every single second right now. 2 more gates shows us that he wants to go in towards a few Adepts most likely. Maybe just take a third base of Adepts and Oracles. Let's see, because he doesn't have a tech structure down just yet. He doesn't have the choice to go in towards like a Temple Archives or even just Resonating Glaives or something. He has no follow-up to the Stargate, and we did see Stats earlier, went for that triple Oracle style, and he's going to do the same again now. So maybe just, the same as in the earlier game, where he goes Twilight Council on the Forge in the next few moments, thinks about getting a Robo soon afterwards, and just kind of play it from there, just transitioning through. There's the Twilight and the Forge, so yeah, I guess it is just the same build he used earlier on. Well, let's see if he can get a little bit more done with it, because last time soO just prevented pretty well, and well, honestly, soO didn't really look like he was ever in any trouble. Those Lings come out. Gonna sit between the bases. Bane and Nest is on the way up. Hydralisk Den starts up in the main base as well, so that gets going here. And as we do see, this Oracle of Stats is also coming up to the top side of the map. Just gonna come back. Obviously wants to try and help defend. There is already 2 Oracles on this side, so they can one-shot those drones already. They missed target fire on one of them somehow, but gets 3 kills, gets 4, and that might be a dead Oracle actually for how long he stuck around. But the Queen's targeted the Phoenix for a moment. That could have been a dead Oracle, but unfortunately, soO missed his opportunities. 2 Oracles survive only just as well on both of them. As now we see some Hydras on the way up. Temple Archives coming in straight off of the Twilight Council, which also starts up charge upgrade. Next to that +1 attack. Robo about to finish in 3 more gateways, 4 more gateways. Okay, I mean, we'll see if a prison comes up or something here. See what the plan might be to maybe move across the map, start to apply some pressure or something along those lines. The 3 Oracles and the Phoenix moving in towards the main base. We're going to be seeing multiple drones going down here, so a lot of damage being done already. Comes in, catches 5 drones, and boom, will get out. But it costs him an Oracle this time around. Stats actually losing out here, so soO getting a little bit more out of his defense, and he is still soO just stacking up Lings and Hydras. It looks like he wants to get ready to attack maybe. Drone production has halted. It's all about unit production right now from soO, and it looks like he's about ready to go as we set up into this. What's up, Level BW? Thank you so much for the 13-month Twitch Prime resub. 13 friggin' years! There's some love in the chat for Level. Big supporter of the stream. Thank you so much for the 13 months. Really do appreciate it, dude. As we see some Banes about to finish morphing in, getting ready to push forwards. And here we go. I mean, Adepts, Zealots, and Archon up this ramp are all going to be in some trouble. As here we go. The Banes come in. The first Zealots blown up pretty quick. He's splitting away the Adepts in the back, but it means the Hydras have some good opportunity to get rid of these Archons. And well, the Archons go down pretty quick. And now there isn't really anything to stop the Hydras at all. And it looks as though... Is this just it, actually? Is this just over? It kind of feels like it's a little bit over, as these Hydras are just going to be overwhelming. There is nothing on the map from Stats. He has 8 army supply, and all of it is pretty much in these two Oracles of the Phoenix. GG, and soO is going to put the INnoVation one-man team up to a 3-2 scoreline. Let's keep it going. To the top left-hand side, our red Zerg player from the INnoVation one-man team. This is soO. Bottom right-hand side, the blue Zerg for Slenders and Bugs looking to try and tie things up. This is soO. So okay guys, you can say ZVZ, Resident Sleeper, all you like. But really, it's actually kind of crazy. You guys are all ZVZ and all pretending to be asleep. But yet more of you are talking now than the rest of the night. So, you know, ZVZ brings out the best in people. From going, you know, from not talking at all, now you guys are talking to each other. Now you guys are chatting. It's awesome. Communication is a wonderful thing. Hatchery dropping down in the natural expansion, getting ready to go. Gas comes down as well here from soO. And from soO. Nothing in terms of like hyper aggression or anything like that in these early stages on Parasite. As we just get this up and again ready to roll in the next few moments. A couple of drones coming out on each side. Yeah. A little bit of a difference between the overlords. So you're going to send an overlord around the right. So you send an overlord down the left. Meanwhile, soO just sends both his overlords straight to the top left side of the map. So a little bit of a difference in how they send their overlords early. It's kind of interesting. soO, by doing this, I mean, soO hasn't seen a single overlord, right? I mean, neither is soO, so basically neither of them have information as to whether a second overlord was made and at what time. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's Parasite. Early attacks, early aggression don't really make a lot of sense on this map. At least before link speed comes up. Once link speed comes up, units move pretty quick, so the size of the map and the importance of that is a little bit less important. But early game, I mean, even with link speed attacks early game, it's like, you know, 13-12s are so time independent that you give your opponent 5 more seconds just because the map's bigger than usual, and you know you're not going to have a good time. So. As overlord starts to come down the right side here. Just continue to get the overlord set up. I mean, the reason for sending your overlords different directions would be to look for early game Zerglings going around the map and trying to, you know, trying to surprise you. And now obviously soO will get all of that information. Then that starts up from soO on the natural expansion as well, so that's going to be coming up here as we do see a few more Zerglings of solar. Still just arriving towards the natural. A couple of the Lings do just end up taking a couple of shots. Ling speed still now on the way up from both of these guys, as we do have a bit in this though from soO. Is definitely a little bit of a difference between the two of them at the moment. More Lings here from soO, just trying to fight against solar as the third hatchery comes down. But we're going to take the third hatchery in a different position as well. soO taking this in a bit more of a forward position, solar being a little bit more set back. Again, I wonder if soO wants to get a bit more aggressive because of this forward spot. Right now, it's solar that just made a bunch of Lings. soO is instead continuing to build up some drones. Obviously, with a Bane Nest, soO can kind of get away with a couple more drones and a couple less Lings because there's going to be Banes to help defend. soO just going to completely bypass the Baneling stage of this game straight towards Roaches, which can create some issues if you have, you know, if you can't get enough Roaches up in time to deal with the kind of big attack of Ling Bane that could come in from soO in the near future. So that's something that soO has to be very cautious of. And soO does start up 6 more Lings right now, although another Baneling defensively maybe does just want to sit back and defend as Queens pick off a Ling. That Ling doesn't get any information at all. And it's still soO that has to defend as soO continues to come in, continues to harass them towards this hatchery. So there's a lot of gas in the bank, by the way. You can afford a lot of Roaches if you'd like to, but he doesn't have the lava, so he's not going to build too many Roaches. I imagine 5 Roaches just a sort of defensive initial setup, but from there, he's not going to move across the map or anything crazy. He's not going to keep on producing Roaches. And you can see now drones in the production tab. And the same for soO as well. So both these players back to a droning phase of the game. The early Ling Bane doesn't really go one way nor the other. And all those Lings are going to keep on heading down to the south. What's up, Palatirion? Thank you so much for your Twitch Prime sub. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for rejoining the Wardy family. Good to have you back, as always. How's it going? You doing well? As we do see the Ling just going to come in. I mean, soO's been consistently doing this, peeling a single Zerg on the way to kind of pick up further information. And see a couple more Lings going to chase that down. We do see the Queen able to pick this up. soO going to continue down to the bottom side. Another Ling from soO. Again, trying to find out some info, trying to figure out what's going on. The Spire actually coming up from soO, so he's not going to go hyper-aggressive on the Roaches or anything anytime soon here. soO's still just playing the defensive game, just waiting for soO to kind of bring it to him. Those Lingers are still moving around the map just a little bit here. That lair about to finish. The Spire again, just over halfway done for the moment. I guess the Mutas come out, and that's the next real kind of talking point that we have here, because neither of these guys are going to commit too soon. Well, okay, well there we go. Nidus Network from soO. Did he get the scout information on the Spire? No. What has he seen? Not really much. Maybe it just feels like with the amount of Lings he's seen and not really any Roaches, maybe he just feels like Nidus is a good shot at shutting this. I don't know, actually. Because his +1 isn't ready either. And all soO has to do is realistically make a few Roaches, and it shouldn't actually be that tough of a hold. Lings are going to attack in here, and they actually should see the Nidus. So actually, where is the Nidus? In the back of the Natural. Okay, this is already a few drones going down, even if it isn't the Scouts. Of course, if these Lings stay around, they realize that these units do go to Nidus somewhere. That's obviously good information as well. Queens will go in the Nidus for the moment. Roaches, not going to find out too much info. 5 drones killed. Now it's a 10 worker difference. soO will have to get ready to defend this, though. He's making some mutas. He is adding on a Spine Crawler too. Nidus comes up to the right-hand side. soO will have to just push forward and up a ramp to try and fight here. These Lings end up darting away. They go towards the third base, where soO has to evacuate drones from now as well. So soO starts to get that ready to go, as we see the Roaches, the Queens, and some Spore Crawlers about set. I mean, soO has switched into mostly Roaches in the last few moments. He's going to start coming into this right away here, using the Commuters and the Roaches to kind of get rid of a lot of the transfusions nice and quickly. I mean, obviously, oh, the Balins on the back as well. The little bit of splash damage will go a long way. I mean, all the Queens are already dead, which means that now the Mutas are still alive. And there's not really anything to deal with these Mutalists. Okay, another Queen comes through. soO just going to type out GG as soO, and the INnoVation one-man team take this to match point as soO goes up 4-2 in the series. And he is looking unstoppable right now. It's a 4-2 lead for soO and the INnoVation one-man team as we go into Fracture. Top left, the last stand from Salendis and Bugs. Our blue Zerg player is Dark. Dark. Again, guys, I keep saying it, but I'll keep on repeating it, of course. If you do enjoy the stream, do hit that follow button. You can see more 12 pools like Darks in the future. We cast lots of ZVZ. Don't worry, go for SC2 tomorrow, European tournament. It's gonna be ZVZ heaven, baby. But, yeah, lots of ZVZ. Probably, maybe. But do hit the follow button. We cast loads of StarCraft here. And if you guys do enjoy the stream in general, you can, of course, support by subscribing. If you're a subscriber, you get replay packs and more. And, of course, if you want to support with Twitch Prime, you can support and subscribe for free. Goes a long way as well, helps as much as any other sub, and it always just helps us to keep on bringing you guys more games. And of course, you guys can donate, you can cheer, and all of that good stuff as well, so that you can, so that you guys can keep on supporting the StarCraft content we put out. Dark with an Overlord, heading down to the bottom right-hand side of the map at the moment. So Dark heading down there at the moment in time as we do see a few of these Zerglings of Dark starting to head out and onto the map. So a few Lings from Dark heading out onto the map here. And we do see another couple coming in from the upper left-hand side reaches as well. Again, these couple of Overlords from soO heading towards the upper left-hand side. And, well, Ling speed is obviously not something that I should be mentioning at all. Spawning pool for Lings should be coming up soon. soO has to defend against this 12 pool, and let's see how well he defends here. Drones will generally be pulled against this. Buy time for Lings and the Queen to come out for himself. This was indeed a 12 pool from Dark as we get into this Game 7 on Fracture. I mean, it's a very small map, so the Lings arrive very quickly, and in a way, soO's not pulling drones. It kind of feels like, yeah, he's just going to deal with this. I think soO's misreading the situation. He's making a Balin nest before Ling speed. He's not going to try and defend the natural at all. I think he thinks this is a 13-12 from Dark, not a 12 pool. And that means he just loses his hatchery straight up. I mean, he keeps mining and so on, and all of that good stuff, but he still has to spend 300 minerals to rebuild his base, whereas Dark is already able to mine from his natural. He's just going to be able to drone that up very soon. Bane Nest not ready yet, as this Spine will finish though. And Darklings were in the main Spine cancels, so doesn't want to waste that drone. Will instead send it to the low ground and try and build a hatch. Queen coming down here to try and help that happen. Steer starts up Ling speed of his own now as well. Go Queen and the Lings combined to try and push these Zerglings off Dark away. Dark a little bit back and forth, a little bit unsure as to how exactly he might want to approach this. As we'll see this one Queen of soO just going to be pushing that Overlord out onto the map. Hatchery drops down on the natural expansion. Alright, well, all of these Lings of Dark have backed away towards the upper left side. As you see, Lings are a few more of them just finishing up here. Ling speed also going to be finishing up shortly as we see this Queen of soO continues to come forwards and just keeps on pushing this Overlord of Dark away again and again and again. There's a few extra Lings and Banes gathering up from soO here also, and those are about to start wandering forwards in towards this natural hatch. As we do see those Banes getting ready to just, well, try and break this position. soO has not made anything but Lings and Banes for a little while now. Ling speed's about to finish up. He does drone behind this, but with the wall off set up, feels like Dark will defend well with an 11 worker lead. Dark's, I mean, again, I just feel like soO misread the situation. I just don't feel this is ever a good response to a 12 pool. Because again, a 12 pool generally does play gasless afterwards, so you generally will have a Rotron and an Evo Chamber wall. And so then how do you break that with Ling Bane? You kind of just don't. And if you don't break it, then the Ling Bane's kind of useless, and then you're just down a hatchery, and all these horrible little things that have already added up in favor of Dark this game. Ling's going to be thinking about moving forwards here. Does pick off a Creep Tumor. This Creep Tumor going to come to replace that. I guess that was the Creep Tumor from before, and he just cancelled it. Plus one missile attack starts up on the road on the Evo Chamber here, but again, struggle to see a way for soO to fight back from a 9-worker deficit or more for such a long time. He's going straight into a lair, maybe just a Spire, which I feel on other maps might be a decent way to get back in the game, but how on earth do you Spire your way back into the game on Fracture? It's such a small map, and if your issue is that your opponent's making roaches too quickly for you to deal with, roaches just hit across the map so quick on this small map that you don't have the time to run around with mutas and to distract and to buy time and all of this, or to even just clean up the roaches as they start to move across. I do like this idea, the Dropper Lord. It's a cute idea, right? Because with a Dropper Lord, it's really an opportunity for soO to run a few, a little bit of something in and maybe get some damage done. Ling gets picked off towards the front there, as we will see that Overlord jumping up and a few Banes inside. Queen coming forwards, ready to greet this Overlord though, and Overlord will have a little bit of trouble if he's not careful. So Ling's continue to back away down this left-hand side here as we do see those Banes moving forwards, and a couple of drones there, nothing all too crazy. As that Queen of Dark is going to keep on pushing this Overlord away off through the top side of the map. Lings from soO will keep on running around here, a couple of twists and turns. Spine Crawlers, a couple of those on the way up now from soO as well, going to make this 3 spines at the front of the natural expansion. Hatchery needs to be a little bit careful though. Okay, looks okay for now. He's going to come back down to the south, sees a roach. Well, a few roaches moving across here still. Lings do jump on this chance to surround a Zergling there, and again, Lings now coming in and going to grab themselves a Queen kill too, maybe? Already some roaches going across the map. That Queen will just about go down. Where are the Mutalisks? The first 7 of them are about to pop out. This Dropper Lord never really got too much done in the end. The Spines in the front, well, will help to turn the roaches away for a moment. And here come the Mutas. So, okay, for a moment, soO will hold on, but he's still playing a deficit, from a weak position. These roaches are probably going to be sacrificed, but it buys time to set up defense against the Mutas. And the other thing about this small map is you can just push forwards with creep and maybe even just bring the Queens across here as Dark to maybe fight against those Mutalisks. soO, his third base hidden away to the top right side is found. Just trying to do something here to make the game, again, a little bit competitive for himself, bring him back into this, because it really is a Dark advantage through and through whenever, whichever way you look at it. Yes, there's Mutas, and Mutas are a great kind of comeback mechanic. I'm still not convinced they're going to be able to do enough against someone like Dark, who he's already seen them. One of the biggest things with the Mutas is the surprise factor. And okay, the surprise factor, they killed 5 or 6 roaches, but that was about it. There isn't much more than that. And so Dark knows he can just sit back for a while, maybe wait for some creep to push forwards, and then he can bring his queens across the map to go and attack with this. And, well, now we're going to be seeing, I mean, the meters, I mean, they need to find something here. And, I mean, he's building more and more meters as well, so he's completely reliant on Mutalisks. Again, just trying to play catch-up at the moment as the meters get an overload, and they'll end up backing away again off to the right side. There's a few roaches up here which you need to be a little bit careful about. +2 missile attack is on the way down from Dark, so getting that started to the top side. These roaches are running around a little bit as well. Roaches and queens gathering up for the moment. Some creep spreads still pushing forwards. And again, these roaches of Dark going to be arriving in the top right side in the next few moments. Meters will come up to defend this base, but I mean, really needs to as well, because soO is actually up 10 drones at the moment. I mean, soO can hold this worker lead for a little bit and maybe mine for a while and somehow clean up the army. I'm a believer, but he just made 9 overlords or more, and so he's actually going to be so weak in terms of what he has coming out at the moment to fight, because he just built so much more supply space than he needed, and that's money which he could have used to defend. Is right now Dark comes straight up here. He finds the spine crawlers transitioning between bases as well. Even more of a disaster from soO. Those spines are going to be one of the big things to try and help him out. But just look at the queen count as Dark arrives into this third base of soO now, and well, what on earth are you meant to do about it? You need to push on in. We're going to see an overlord going down. And multiple overlords going down. This entire base is being cleaned out already. Let's try and come back in for more. I mean, just how do you fight through? There's so many transfusions available. He realizes the queen's are a bit out of position, so he comes in to try and get a roach. It's all down to the Muta Micro here, which is the only thing soO can now rely on to get back in this game. Dives for a queen, gets it before the transfuse comes down. He'll get this queen after a couple of transfusions are thrown out. Okay, I mean, so many transfusions are thrown on that queen. It stays alive for an eternity. And now the transfusions are gone, the meters will start to work their way through the queen count. I mean, the issue is so many roaches top right will clean out this base. soO already lost the third base over here. And while he'll clean out the queens, the meter count is already low. And now with more roaches coming across, he's just never realistically going to clean up these roaches fast enough to make this work. GG from soO, and Dark will keep this series alive. Puts this to a 3-4 scoreline. And we start to the top right hand side, where we have our Blue Zerg player who is looking to try and keep his team alive and even up this series. Died to 2 racks earlier today. Let's see if he can fight back this time and get some revenge. Our Blue Zerg is Dark. And to the bottom left hand side, our red Terran player is INnoVation. Coming up to tying up here. If Dark can win this one. What great grand finals this has been. Thank you for joining me today, guys, of course. Casting some StarCraft 2. I'll be back tomorrow with Go for SC2 Sundays. On Monday, we'll have a little bit more... actually, on Monday, we're going to do Marble Mondays. I'm going to be doing a Marbles only stream. I know some of you guys love the marbles, so we'll be doing a little bit of that on Monday. Should be some good fun for a few hours. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. After that, we hope to be casting StarCraft every single day. And I think we do have content should be mostly lined up every single day. It's just a matter of getting some stuff confirmed. I have a tournament that I want to get going, so hopefully we get that launched. That should be pretty cool if we can get that started off, so should be pretty awesome. Rack's about to finish up on the main base. We are going to be seeing the Overlord of Dark here, just moving around out the front. No bushes for the Marine, and no can't win. That was such a cute little play at the start of the day, wasn't it? That was a really cute little play. I love that. Really good. Alright, so see where the game takes us for the first few minutes of this. There's a little bit of back and forth, and Lings are very narrowly grabbing a little bit of a surround on that Reaper, so has to be a little bit cautious. Grenade goes off, bops the drone off to the side. As it just happened, the starport is coming down here in the main base of INnoVation, so let's get ready to go. 2 Hellions on the way out of this factory as we see this Marine is just sap poking away at that Overlord. The main base, this Reaper does a little bit of damage. Drone gets really low. You're going to see the Reaper jumping down to the low ground here as we get set to continue through this. Starport about to finish from INnoVation. Again, those extra 2 Hellions are about to finish up as well. Everything looking good at the moment here for both of these players. Rotron drops down from Dark. It's a little bit earlier than I might expect a Rotron from Dark here, so see what he does with that. He's got he had a little bit of gas going for himself for a second there, but now he's got 100. Doesn't seem too crazy. Doesn't seem too crazy. The world about to arrive as the Hellions moving around as well, and you see the Stimpack on the way up from INnoVation on that main base. So getting that Stimpack started. Again, another couple of Hellions on the way out. They're going to be gathering together as well. Viking able to pick off this Overlord here, so Overlord will go down nice and quickly. Again, it's always nice to see. I like Vikings like this, just the Vikings that are going to travel around the map and pick up some kills and get some damage. I like them. They're cool. 10 more Roaches on the way out from Dark. This is going to be... I mean, honestly, 10 Roaches kind of feels like he wants to get really aggressive. INnoVation's just gone into a Stimpack. He's built a 3rd CC. No real, nothing crazy, right? Again, it's just straight up standard. I want to play a macro game. But he's trying to play a macro game against what feels like a bit of an all-in. And again, the Roaches, the Ravagers, the Lings are getting ready, coming across the map. The Hellions coming forwards. Roaches will be able to deflect those pretty quick. Around the bottom side, we see the first units are going to arrive across here. The Ling is still just stacking up at home. They'll cross very quickly, very soon. Reaper Grenade and Hellions picking up one of those Roaches, but again, INnoVation has nothing at home. Now he realizes what's going on. He starts up 2 bunkers, but is it too late? He's going to realize there's no drones on this 3rd base as well. Queen's taking quite a bit of damage, but he actually leaves that one alive just about. Corrosive Bile starting to come down and break through this wall off. SCVs will be pulled forwards to get ready to repair. And there is a siege tank here as well, actually. So INnoVation, oh no, okay, Corrosive Bile for a moment I thought it was going to go off from the SCVs. He did lose his initial couple of Marines, so I mean, it's kind of down to this tank, but a tank will go down very quickly considering the number of Ravagers. Here come the Hellions showing up to help out, but the Lings are going to still come in, and that's actually not a full wall off. The Lings are going to get wrapped around. The tank will take some damage. Ravagers dealing with the Hellions already, and INnoVation is in a little spot of bother. He doesn't really have an answer to this as Dark is overwhelming. Viking goes down, and INnoVation is like question mark, and Dark is like heck. And INnoVation's like GG because Dark will take this one. There's no game number 9. I'm like looking for the replays. I'm like, where's game 9? And I'm like, did I do the score or something? So, in my last ditch effort, I went on Wikipedia. And INnoVation one-man team did not have any revives left for the ace match as they did not win the 2v2. This is like the most boggling thing to me. Like, I heard something funky happened, but so I don't get it because when Dark and Stats played, they got that. This means that Slenders and Bugs got 2 revives, right? So the 2v2 granted 2 revives. It's such a flaw. Okay, so listen to my thing. Every other matchup made sense, right? Because when you go into the 2v2. The revive goes to the team, which gives them perfect number of players to play the rest of the tournament out, or to play the rest of the match out, right? So, for example, in this one, 2-1, it goes to 2-2. There's 2 players alive here. There's 1 player alive here, plus a revive. You get 2 players left, and so, it works out. So I'm thinking, I assumed you would just have, because it's a best of 9, if you just have both teams are guaranteed 1 revive, and then the 2v2 grants an extra revive. But no. Apparently just soO and INnoVation are the only players allowed to... So, I don't get it. Why does Dark and Stats get to revive twice, two players, and INnoVation team gets to revive no one. Is the 2v2 just that powerful? That's so dumb. What happens if it's Zest and INnoVation win the 2v2? They can only play with soO, and then the series ends at 4-2 or something? 4-1? Like, am I crazy? Am I dumb? Like, I don't know. It just seems like I can understand the format doesn't translate perfectly to best of 9, but all you have to do is give both teams a free revive, and the team that wins the 2v2 an extra revive, and it will give you the right number of players. I'm so confused, guys. So yeah, rip. There's no game 9.